Welcome. In the last session, I started discussing the characters of class Phaeophyceae. So, in this session, I'm going to continue the characters of Phaeophyceae under algae. So, let's look at the characters of Phaeophyceae. So, here I gave the last point in the last session, that food stored in the form of laminarin or mannitol. The next one, we will see that the vegetative cells. So, in a multicellular organism, we may find two types of cells: reproductive cells and vegetative cells. The vegetative cells will make up the body, whereas the reproductive cells will be involved in the process of reproduction. So, here in a multicellular organism, so we may find two types of cells, one called vegetative cells and another one called the reproductive cells. So these reproductive cells are involved in the process of reproduction, whereas vegetative cells will make up the body, right? So now the vegetative cells in this group, that is Phaeophyceae, so these vegetative cells are covered with a cell wall. So it is covered with cell wall, okay, and this cell wall is composed of, means made up of, okay, cellulose. So it is composed of cellulose, okay, and this cell wall is covered by a gelatinous coating, right? The cell wall is covered by a gelatinous coating, and that is called algae. So that gelatinous coating is called algae. So here we see, we take a cell. So here there will be thickness of the cell wall. So here I'm taking, so this is the thickness of the cell wall, okay, and this is covered by a gelatinous coating. So that gelatinous coating is called algae. Okay, so you can see here the gelatinous coating over here. So this is the cell wall, and this substance coating over the cell wall is called algae. Okay, then uh, the protoplast contains the protoplast contains plastids. So one example of plastid is chloroplast. So there are different types of plastids that we will discuss later, okay. So here the plastids I give an example for this plastid, that is chloroplast. So located in the cytoplasm, we see the presence of chloroplast, okay. So here chloroplast, okay, and then, right, there is a centrally located vacuole. So we find a centrally located vacuole is present, and we will also see the presence of okay, a nucleus. So here, so at the center we have, of course, the major portion is occupied by vacuole. So that is a vacuole, and so you can see here this is nucleus, and these are chloroplasts. Okay, so a centrally located vacuole and a nucleus is present. Then the next point here, coming to the body, the plant body. So here the plant body is divided into three parts. The plant body is divided into three parts, right? So what are those three parts? One, so it has a frond, then okay, it has right stipe, and the third one is a hold fast. So these are the three parts of the plant body in case of Phaeophyceae members. So here the frond is actually a leaf-like structure, okay, and it is involved in the process of photosynthesis. So it is a photosynthetic organ. I told you that in case of algae, so there is no true root, stem or leaves. So here the body organization is what we call thallus organization. So we don't find those true okay parts of a plant how we see in case of angiosperms. So we see here okay a leaf-like structure, so which is not a true leaf here. So and it is called frond, and that will actually perform the process of photosynthesis. So hence I called it photosynthetic organ. Then stipe. So this stipe is a stalk that connects frond and hold fast. So that connects frond and hold fast. And lastly, the part is the hold fast, and it is a structure that attaches to the substratum. So it helps in attaching the whole plant body to a substratum like a rock. Okay, so we'll see that structure how the plant body in Phaeophyceae okay looks like. So let's see here. So it has a hold fast structure, and then so we see a leaf-like structure, right? So this is how it looks. Okay, so how it looks. So this is the frond, and here this small stalk. Okay, so what we see here is the stipe, and this is the hold fast, and that seen attach it to okay say a rock or any other structure. So it's a substratum. So this is the substratum. Okay, right. So this is how the plant body of a Phaeophyceae member, okay, looks like. So it has a frond, stem, and hold fast structures. Okay, and in some cases like fucus, it may have even air bladders present inside the frond. So those air bladders actually help for floating, okay, or giving buoyancy to the plant, so that it always remains, okay, near the surface of the water to get maximum sunlight. Okay, next, coming to the part of reproduction. So here the reproduction takes place by all the three methods. One is vegetative reproduction takes place, then asexual reproduction takes place, and also sexual mode of reproduction takes place. So coming to this vegetative mode of reproduction, and this is by fragmentation. So it occurs by fragmentation. Okay, and coming to asexual reproduction. So asexual reproduction, this occurs by formation of biflagellate zoospores. Occurs by formation of biflagellate zoospores. Okay, so here when we see these zoospores, these zoospores will be, okay, pear shaped. So they are pear shaped. So this is how it looks like. Okay, nucleus we can see, and it has, okay, two unequal flagella. So it has two unequal flagella. Okay, so two unequal flagella are present. So this is a pear shaped zoospore. So whenever we know if a flagella are present, then it indicates it is capable of showing locomotion. It is movable. Okay, so pear-shaped zoospore. Okay, so this is, you can also call it pyriform. Pyriform, which also means okay, pear-shaped. So two unequal flagella. So because of that, we call it biflagellate. So asexual reproduction, that takes place by the formation of right zoospores, motile zoospores. Okay, then coming to sexual mode of reproduction. Okay, so coming to sexual reproduction. So here this sexual reproduction will be by, okay, isogamous. Already we know the meaning of isogamous, and then anisogamous or by oogamous. Okay, so by these methods, the process of sexual reproduction takes place. And here, during the gamete formation, so in sexual reproduction, so the gametes formed, so the gametes formed are pyriform. So that I told you already, pyriform, which means pear shape. So pear is a fruit. I hope if you know the fruit pear, then you can come to know the shape of that fruit. Okay, so the gametes are formed, uh, will be of pyriform, so just looking like a biflagellate zoospore, and this also has same, so just looks like a zoospore, and it also has, okay, flagella. Okay, and it is pear shaped. So this is a gamete, how you will be seeing, right? So is a gamete, and the fusion of gametes may take place. So fusion of gametes occur in the water. So the gametes, once they're formed, they're released into the water, and there in the water there may be the fusion of gametes, or it may occur in the oogonium. It may occur in the oogonium. So oogonium is a female reproductive structure. So it's a female reproductive structure, and if it is the case, we call it a oogamous species. You may see in case of oogamous, in case of oogamous species, right? So the motile male gamete will come and fuse with a non-motile gamete that may be located in the oogonium. Right, so that's how the sexual reproduction. So here I said there are two unequal flagella, and these two unequal flagella are attached laterally. So these two flagella are attached laterally. So what we mean by attached laterally, okay, say suppose, okay, so this is the the zoospore or the gamete, and you will see the flagella attached on this side here, like, and this is another flagella that is attached. So this is how we see the two flagella attached laterally. Okay, right, so that's about the characters of this group or the class Phaeophyceae. So now let's look at some examples of this group Phaeophyceae. The examples that include under Phaeophyceae include Ectocarpus. So this is the filamentous form. So it's very much simple form we see in this group of like Phaeophyceae. So it is a simple branched filamentous form. And then we have other examples like Dictyota, then Laminaria, then Sargassum, Fucus, etc. are examples of this group. So here the Laminaria is one species that is commonly called kelp. Okay, of course there are many different species which will come under kelps. So one example of kelp which I have given here is Laminaria. Okay, so it belongs to the order Laminariales. Okay, so all that are commonly called the kelps, which are the biggest forms, okay, of algae or algal group, right? So that's about the class Phaeophyceae. So the next one we'll see about uh, the Rhodophyceae group. So the next one, class Rhodophyceae. So coming to this Rhodophyceae, then members of this group. So members of this group is commonly called the red algae. So the members of this group, they are called red algae. Okay, and the red color is due to presence of venosecond pigments. So that pigments are the one who actually impart coloration. So the one which impart coloration to the organism, that is, I mean, algae in this case. So here the pigment that is present here is due to presence of a red colored pigment, and that red colored pigment is called R phycoerythrin. So that red color pigment is called R phycoerythrin here, right? And of course, that is because of that R phycoerythrin. This group members almost appear red in color. Then coming to next point, so they are present in fresh waters. So they live in fresh waters. Okay, so they live in fresh waters, and then okay, majority live in brackish waters. So majority live in brackish waters and marine waters. Already I have told you in the previous session, the brackish waters, the water where we see the river meeting, okay, the seas. So whatever that water that is not too salty nor okay too fresh. So those waters where the river and sea meet is the brackish water. It's called the brackish water. Next up, let's see the different pigments which are present in this group, the Rhodophyceae. So here the pigments we see, of course, other than this R phycoerythrin, we will see, right, uh, chlorophyll A. So chlorophyll A is a type of pigment, and then we will also see chlorophyll D. So chlorophyll D, and also, right, I already told you the phycoerythrin. So these are okay photosynthetic pigments that help actually in the process of photosynthesis. Okay, chlorophyll A, D, and the phycoerythrin. So these are the pigments, okay, in this group. The next one, coming to the cell wall. So cell wall composition. Coming to cell wall composition. So the cell wall composition, okay, it includes the presence of cellulose. Okay, so it has cellulose, and it also has okay pectin is another substance that is present. So in later we'll study in higher plants, the cell wall is made up of many other different substances. Okay, and also it consists of polysulfate esters. Polysulfate esters. So this is a composition of cell wall in this group, that is Rhodophyceae. So it consists of cellulose, okay, pectin, and polysulfate esters. Then the next point. So this the members belonging to this group, they are found okay in well lighted areas and also in low light regions. So they live in well lighted areas or lighted regions. Okay, so the well lighted regions, okay, in the waters will be usually the surface of waters. Okay, so this will be the surface of waters, and also in okay dark regions, means where the light is not present. So I can say in low light regions, also in low light regions. So this will be in deep oceans, so located in deep oceans, right? Then coming to the thallus. So this thallus is multicellular. Okay, it is multicellular, and we know Why we called it thallus? Because the body is not differentiated, okay, into root, stem, and so, okay. And okay, some of these have complex body organization. They have, okay, complex body organization, okay. Then, so the food stored in the form of, so food is stored in the form of Floridian starch, in the form of okay, Floridian starch. So there is of course this is the reserve food material, okay. This Floridian starch will be similar to amylopectin and glycogen in structure, right? So that's we see the food stored in the form of Floridian starch. And coming to the mode of reproduction. So the mode of reproduction. So this has all the three modes, that is the vegetative, then asexual, and sexual mode of reproductions. So vegetative reproduction, asexual reproduction, and sexual mode of reproduction. And here the vegetative mode of reproduction is by fragmentation, whereas asexual mode of reproduction is by the formation of non-motile spores, and sexual reproduction is by non-motile gametes, so by means of non-motile gametes. So in this case there is no locomotion shown by the spores or the gametes, okay. So then the sexual reproduction is of course it is oogamous, okay, right. And then it is accompanied by some complex post fertilization developments. So post fertilization means whatever that takes place after the fertilization. So the events after the fertilization, we call them post fertilization events, okay. So it shows some complex post fertilization events. So let's look at some examples like Polysyphonia. So Polysyphonia, then okay, Porphyra is another example, then Gracilaria, then Gelidium, etc. are some examples of this group, the Rhodophyceae, okay. With this we have finished all the three classes of algae. So in the next session we will see the economic importance of algae.